taken the evangelist training and used it to give us legs to run further. When you have a God that gifts his people specifically for kingdom ministry, all we need to do is release them to go do it. And evangelist training allowed me to release our people at the perfect time, because we've got Good Shepherd needing revitalization, we've got the Edge with energy but no money, and those two coming together and recognizing that it's God that provided the power to make that happen. And I think churches can use evangelist training as a revitalization tool. They kind of have to be willing to let God take people where he wants to take them.
I always felt a little guilty because it's not in my personality to be outward facing to try to bring people to Jesus. Well, the evangelist training talked about multiple ways of reaching people. As I got into the media stuff, being able to broadcast our services, working with the apps, that sort of thing, we're finding ways to reach people. The main thing that I learned through the evangelist training was I don't have to take the place of the Holy Spirit. My role is to help spread the seeds, if you will, and it's the Holy Spirit's job to grow those things, to grow those seeds. So that actually was a freeing type of epiphany, if you will.
Have you ever considered that there might be such a thing as this Rabbit Harvey?
Of course there isn't. And anybody who thinks so is crazy.
We touch an audience with words that we are scripted to speak, and they either laugh or they don't, or they cry or they don't. But backstage, it happened today. Scott and I were talking about how full we were because we had a potluck dinner at church and we were both miserable backstage. and somebody began to ask, where do you go to church? The short conversation begins. That's really, for me, that's what this is about.
Well, some of the audience tonight there were popcorn players that came to our show today who kind of had a life-changing experience here a couple of months ago and are now part of our congregation because Steve was here, I was here. We talked about our church, the fact that we were here to comfort them and guide them, and with all the outreach programs that we have at the church, with the counseling and things that we have that helped them, and now they're part of our church. So.
The Survivor Studio is a culmination of 25 years vision that God gave me to open a counseling center for, I thought specifically incest and sexual abuse survivors, but over the years God has kept sort of adding a little pieces on, and so now we just focus on trauma in general.
This is for people who are, usually I use it most often when people are very anxious, and it's very soft and cushy, very good for relaxation. So a lot of teens will want to come in here and they just, chill out and relax, and we'll maybe watch a video or just, talk. But it's a lot more comfortable and a lot more relaxing than maybe sitting on the couch.
What we do is we offer kind of an alternative way to kind of talk through those things. So we do that through a lot of different experiences, a lot of art, a lot of painting, drawing, writing. This is what we call an anger iceberg, where they've worked on this is their anger, this is what's underneath the anger that you can't really see. Someone wrote a love letter to themselves, so not everything is negative, right? So sometimes we get to a place where, yes, I can actually love myself and write a love letter to myself. So that's what this section right here is. It's kind of a combination of a variety of things. We try to offer like lots of alternative ways of expressing and coping and dealing with the trauma that's happened.
The coffee shop started in 2012, and we realized that we needed to have great coffee. That's what draws people. So we were paying a premium for great coffee. We started to realize, well, what if we started a roasting company? We know people who grow coffee. Let's put that together. Sojourn went the next mile to make a difference in the life of the farmer and in the community outside the coffee shop. And it's just been a blessing to see how God has brought that together.
We talked about business as mission. As we go, we make disciples, we share the love of Christ, right? Being the intentional touch of Jesus, hospitality and compassion. So as we go, and business for mission, meaning that we're also, as we make a living, creating a revenue stream to be able to extend that.
You can have that vision, but you need people to make it work. And so like at church, we have a lot of evangelists that have been trained, and that's huge because they all have a different buy-in. They're excited about different things, and we need that to make it work.
Evangelist training just gave us 12 individuals who felt a calling, and then the church that had to say, okay, we told you to do the training and now go where God's calling you to go. My job was just the catalyst to just be there and go, okay, back to class for 12 weeks, and then celebrate what God's gonna do. I mean, I think about the things we're doing that 3 years ago weren't even on our radar. But when we trained somebody as an evangelist and then said, what are you interested in? Boom, that came out, and all we had to do was say, go, and God's got the fire going in them, and it's happening.